Hello my friends! Welcome back to Awake Athlete. I am Kajsa Kalén and today I'm going to share 4 things with you that has helped me to overcome performance anxiety. After struggling with a lot of performance anxiety in the past, I came to a point where I realized that to be able to have a good mental health and to be able to perform well, I needed to start to do something differently. So the first thing that has helped me to overcome performance anxiety is to focus on and do other things next to my athletic career. When I graduated high school, I moved abroad to become a pro athlete, and finally I thought I would be able to do and think only about my sport and about my performances. And I thought that this was the key to success. But in the end it turned out to be too much. It took too much of my headspace. That year was also the worst year in my career so far. So the only thing I did was to come home after practice and I had nothing else to do but to think about practice next day. And I just couldn't stop thinking about how bad I performed. So I ended up in a negative spiral where I was worrying so much about performing bad. And I had so much pressure on myself because this was the only thing in my life. And I put so much energy and time and money into this. And with all the pressure and anxiety, of course I performed even worse. Because I noticed that when my sport was the only thing I had in life, my life was only good when I performed good. And my life was bad when I performed bad. And to bet all of our happiness into a sports career is a very risky thing, because we can never secure success. It's the same with everything in life that we put all of our energy and attention to. If that thing disappears, it can be a relationship or a job, whatever. When that thing disappears, we have nothing. So first of all, to force myself out of this negative thinking to only think about performance and my sport was that I started to study. That helped me to get my mind off my training and competition and performances when I got home from practice, so I could focus on something else. And today I have a lot of other interests and passions, for example, to inspire and help other people with their mental health, but also a lot of other things. When I'm at practice, I go all in, and that can be a bubble that helps me to forget about other things in life when I need to do that. But when I come home, I forget about me as an athlete and I'm just me. And what I experienced in the past was that I was so scared to not be seen as this serious athlete. And I thought that to be a serious athlete and to be serious about your track career, you needed to eat, sleep, think sports always. And if you forget about your sport for a while, for example, if you hang out with your friends at dinner or doing something else that is not sports related, you're not seen as a serious athlete. So many times in the past when I chose to not do anything else next to my training, it was not because I didn't want to, because I was afraid to not fit in this box of how an athlete should be and should live. And this also helps me to remind myself of that I am not only Kajsa the athlete. It's a big part of my life, but I am so much more. And life is about so much more than only sport. The second thing that has helped me is a change of why I'm doing sport. Or maybe not a change, maybe just an add of whys. Even since start, when I started to do track when I was 4 years old, the only reason why I did track was because I wanted to win and take medals and do records. That was it, not for anything else. And the reason for this was that I was taught that winning is the most important thing. If you fail, many times the case was that I came second, you're a big failure and something is wrong. So this made me fear failure, fear not winning. And it made me avoid all the events or situations where I risked not winning. And that was the reason why I specialized so early in long jump. I was only 10 years old when I started to only do long jump, and that was because this was always my best event. I was even from start when I was 4 or 5 years old starting to practice with the older group, and I heard that the groups that were the same age as me were not serious enough. They played around too much, they had too much fun. And I was a serious athlete, so I shouldn't be there. A serious 10-year-old athlete. When I then came to a point where I didn't always win anymore, which happens to basically most of us, my entire reason why I did track was taken away from me. And when I became a senior, I realized that, okay, now I'm competing with, first of all, everyone in Sweden, but then everyone in the world, and I will not always win anymore. So only having that as a reason why I did sport was not sustainable. So today I do sport for so many more reasons. Today I first of all do track because I just love to train. I love to feel strong and to run and do intervals and be tired. I honestly love that more many times than to do long jump. To get to know all of these people that I would never got to know if I didn't do track, or see all these places, and just the pure presence that I feel on the runway when I'm about to jump. And everything in the world is just disappearing for a while. And the list of reasons just goes on. And what this does is that even in times where I don't perform as well as I want to, or when I'm injured, for example, I can still find the motivation to keep on going, to go to practice every day and actually enjoy it. Even if I'm not performing exactly how I want to, I can still go to practice and train. And this creates a so much stronger foundation and safety net than to only have one why, because when that disappears, everything will suck. I don't want to live my career that way. I want to enjoy it as much as possible. And I actually have this list very close to me. I have it written down on my computer, and in harder times I go back and look at it to remind myself that, okay, yes, I actually love just this. I just love to go to practice. I love the lifestyle that it gives me. I can enjoy today too, in the wait for better results, if that's how you like to see it. And I think it's always important to know your why, of why you're doing things in life, because then you're living a conscious life, either than just do things but you don't know really why you're doing it. Maybe it's because someone else has told you that this is good for you. It's also known that if we have a why that comes from the inside, that comes from us, rather than coming from outside of ourselves, for example, recognition or to make someone else proud, it's a stronger reason, and it creates a much stronger motivation. So this takes a little bit of self-exploration. So I've experienced that having many whys has helped my mental health, my resilience, my patience, and in that way it also helps my performances. The third thing is that I start to make a conscious choice about what environments and people I surround myself with. When sport was the only thing in my life, I spent most of my time in high performance environments, or I could even say high performance anxiety environments. This is around people that live their life only through their sport and performances, exactly like I did. But the thing is that you become what you surround yourself with. And to be able to take myself out of only thinking about performances and track, I felt like I need other influences too. Here in Valencia, where I live, for example, I prefer to not live too close to the track, because I want to feel like when I go there, I go into that world. But when I leave and go home, I leave that world there and I go away from it. I actually spend my time more in environments that has nothing to do with sports, with people that don't talk about performances and results all the time, with people that loves and appreciates me for me, not for the results that I do. So today I make a very conscious choice about what people I surround myself with. Because what I have experienced in the sports world is that when you perform well and when you're successful, a lot of people want to be around you. But when you're not performing well, a lot of people disappears and follow the next successful one. I have learned that it is in those moments where you see what people is your true friends, that will support you through up and downs and believe and cares about you as a person. And I noticed that when I have spent a lot of time in high performance environments, I can feel myself being dragged into it again. And I need to take myself out of there to remind myself that, okay, this is me, this is the reality. I'm not Kajsa the athlete. I'm me, this is the people that cares about me. Sport is one world. And when I do this and when I live my life like this, I feel so much better. The fourth and biggest thing I would say has helped me is a change of mindset and perspective. Our thoughts creates our reality, which in turn creates our emotions, which creates our well-being. So the degree to how much we get affected by things has a lot to do about our perspective. When I started to get into and be interested about personal development and spirituality and start to implement those life views in my own life, that's when my mental health started to change for the better, for real. I started to understand and see that there is so much more to life than only sport, that everything happens for a reason, and that true happiness does not come from sports achievements. Most of us are living life as we are in a constant race, always on our way to something better in the distant. And in this way, we always postpone our happiness and think that once I achieve that, I will be happy. Or once I do that and get that, all my problems will disappear. And I see this so clearly in the sport. We are so occupied by having this big goal in our head always and always going towards that, not taking any time to actually be proud and happy about what we have already achieved. And we feel like we can't be happy until we have achieved everything that we want to. Nothing is really good enough, which creates a lot of performance anxiety. But I think that most of us has experienced that once we stand there with a medal around our neck, all of our problems doesn't go away. It's a very happy moment and you're happy for achieving something, but I think that many times we think that, okay, this is great, what now? And that's the thing. I want to live my life present and thankful for what I have, at the same time as I'm going towards my goals. And in my experience, what I have noticed is the more I celebrate the small wins and appreciate what I have, the faster I get even more. The faster I actually achieve those big goals. And this view and perspective I'm adding into all parts of my life, including sports. And it has helped my mental health so much. I no longer feel performance anxiety in the same way because I see life in another way, with another perspective. And that is what all of these things has in common, a change of perspective. They're all linked together. And how we choose to see things and view things, it's a choice. Thank you so much for watching this video. It makes me super thankful. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.